Right guys, it is your boy Richard Sales Official back with another banger to the what? To the goddamn rip. Stop it. Anyways, basically guys, today's video is going to be a little bit more serious than what I would normally do because day in, day out, no word of a lie, I get questioned on how did you go viral on TikTok? What did you do before? Why do you get so many views? Blah, blah, blah. Like so many questions. And I feel like why not just kind of answer it all properly in a YouTube video? Great way to push people over from TikTok. Great way to give you an insight in my life. And it's quite nice to sort of kind of go back on what happened, the risks that I took, the struggle that I went through. Because I feel like a lot of people don't actually know how I kind of become so successful on social media or the risks that I took. So let's go way back to 2020, right? Where it was last year, first lockdown, I think it was. Just come out of a really, really toxic relationship. A relationship that I probably shouldn't have got in, but I got in anyway, purely just based out of like catching feelings. Like there's not really an excuse, but I jumped from previous relationship to new relationship very quickly, didn't give myself time to grieve. And I feel like the biggest downfall of some of us as humans is that we think that it's easier to just jump into situationships, is what I like to call them. Like, I guess relationships that probably you're not that serious about, but you are at the same time. Like, it's really hard to explain. Anyways, let's not talk about that because it's completely irrelevant. I had just come out of quite a bad toxic breakup. It was very hard on me. I took it quite badly, and it come at like the worst time ever because whilst the breakup had happened, lockdown just creeped up out of nowhere and was like, haha, you're gonna be alone and depressed with no way of seeing your family or your friends. And at this point, obviously I worked for a big corporate company hospitality wise, and I lived by myself in a massive pub, and it was lonely as hell. So not only was I just newly single, I couldn't actually go out and meet anybody, I couldn't go out and occupy myself, so I was constantly reminded about all the negative stuff that was going on in my life. And it kind of got to the stage where I really needed something to occupy my mind. And I thought to myself, well, what can I do? Like, there's only so many like foods that you can cook. There's only so many like times that you can drink. The only good thing that I would say about the first lockdown was the weather. The weather was unbelievable. Like, it was unbelievable. So I used to have like a roof where I used to just sit out there and just tan every day pretty much. And obviously because, you know, I had access to alcohol and stuff like that, it was just like, whatever, do you know what I mean? Let me just enjoy myself. But there was like a checklist that was going around on Instagram at the time of what to do like during lockdown. Like, you had your banana bread. Oh my God, do you remember the banana bread phase? You had download TikTok and do a TikTok. It was like go for a walk, go for a run, find a new location that you'd never visited, whatever. So I was like, what the hell is TikTok? I didn't know what it was. Obviously I knew about Vine. I was a big fan of Vine. Still to this day am I a massive fan of the old videos. And I just downloaded the app. Like, I literally just downloaded the app and I was like, well, what's the worst that can happen? First video I saw was Addison Rae's like dancing video, and I was like, all right, cool. Carried on like scrolling. I was just like, cringe, deep, and it was just like, okay, cool. And at that time, I think the trending sound was, I got a cup of coffee in my head, which is still huge on TikTok now. And I thought, you know what is the worst that can happen? Like, I'm already feeling so down in the dumps. Like, I had no confidence, I wasn't happy with the way that I looked. Like, just loads of things was going on in my head. And I thought, you know what, fuck it. Beg my profanity, but I was like, I don't care, let's just crack on. So I uploaded a TikTok of me dancing to one of Chris Brown's song. Honestly, I'm so glad that the video is nowhere to be seen because Jesus Christ, was it just you're done. No, you're done. And I looked back at this video and I was like, this is just not for me. I've never really been the sort of kind of pretty boy that sort of kind of wants that sort of attention like on social media, and I just thought sort of kind of doing the whole dancing and the sort of like trying to be sexy kind of thing is just not me. Like, it's just not what I'm known for. And I just thought to myself, why not just be funny? Like, why not just like implement your personality into your profile? So that's exactly what I did. One of the other trending sounds was Tory Lane's song, I Wanna Put You in 7 Positions. Yeah, so I did like a bit of a comedy skit to that, and it got like 6k views. And obviously back then, for somebody who only had a couple of hundred followers, 6k views for me was just like, whew, like I felt like I went viral. I really didn't. And that's when the addiction started for me. Like, that's when I became obsessed, and I'm not even joking. Obsessed is an understatement. Like, I was refreshing my profile every 30 seconds. Like, it was so bad at one point. But during lockdown, you know, stuck indoors, doing nothing other than being on my phone, like, it was a good time to waste my day, I guess. You know, like, I was gaming quite a lot back then, and like I weren't really doing much else, and I thought, hey, why not just do it? So at that point, I was ratioing like 100 followers like every 2 days, which was great. I was getting like 1,000 likes a day, and I think I grew up until like 8 or 9k. And I actually started to think, I was like, hold on a minute, like this is getting a bit saucy. I was like, I might become famous. So started posting like controversial content, like, you know, your typical just like lad stuff. Like, it weren't harming anybody or whatever. And then my work got involved, and they were just like, look, it's either us or TikTok. Pretty much gave me an ultimatum, basically said if I didn't delete my account, then I would be dismissed, which is pretty bad. But corporate companies are like that. That's why everybody hates them. All they care about is money. Didn't really give two craps about how I was feeling during lockdown, being in a massive pub by myself, but it is what it is, you know. Like, I guess that's what you sign up for when you want to become a puppet for such a big corporate. And what was hard about it is I'd worked for that organisation for like 15 years, do you know what I mean? Like, in that sort of kind of side of hospitality, like I'd devoted my whole life to it. So when I was put in a position where I actually had to choose what made me happy over them, I was so disappointed in myself that I actually chose my job at that point. So deleted TikTok. I wasn't even allowed to post on Instagram. It was that strict. Like, they literally had swallowed me up in the corporate world, and I gave in because I'm not an idiot. I was on a very good contract. I was on 30 grand a year. You know, I had a house, dental plan, great pension, loads of things. And I wasn't really sort of kind of prepared to risk and give it all up. So, made loads of friends, still was on TikTok. Like, I still had like a burner account where I still watched people and stuff like that. Made loads of friends and thought, you know what? Let me just ignore the fact that, like, you know, social media is just not going to happen. And depression just really kicked in for me, guys. Like, I really started feeling negative about my life. And this is quite weird. This is when I first met Dory as well. So as much as I had happiness and positivity with her, there was something missing in my heart and my head. And one day I just turned to Dory and I was like, I want to quit my job. And she was like, what? Called my parents. I was like, I want to quit my job. And my dad was like, you want to quit your job to make silly videos on the internet? And I was just like, yeah. And mum and dad were a bit pissed off. Like, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, they'd seen how hard I worked. Like, my mum and dad had saw me go through quite a lot of struggle when it came to hospitality. But Dory, on the other hand, was like, look, obviously she struggles really bad with anxiety and stuff like that. And she's never really been able to find a happiness for herself either. And she was like, look, I'll cover your bills for the next couple of months and let's just see how it goes. By the way, before I continue, please do not go and quit your job for social media, because it is a hella huge risk and I do not want to be the reason why you do so. So yeah, guys, please do not go and quit your job for social media, because it could be the worst thing you ever do. And then I don't want you to go back to your partners or your mum and dad saying, that Brim guy made me quit my job. No, don't blame me. Stop it. Anyways, so I handed my notice in with immediate effect. I didn't even want to give him a reason. There was so much I wanted to say to the area managers and stuff, and I just thought, I don't even want to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'd rather become the person I know I'm going to be, so you go on TikTok and you see the person that you lost the person that believed in themselves, because I was actually very good at my job, very, very good at my job. And I just handed my notice in, followed protocol. You know, the only thing is obviously by leaving my job, I then made myself homeless, jobless, and I didn't have much savings as well in regards to money. So I, luckily for me, I had a friend who ran a pub in London, and she was like, hey, look, I've got a room for a couple of months, like, why don't you come and stay here? We obviously lived together before as well, so it wasn't a risk. And obviously ran it by Dory, because obviously I couldn't move in with Dory and stuff like that, because obviously Dory's house was quite full, and I felt like moving back with my mum and dad was like a massive step backwards. And I just wasn't really prepared to put myself through that, if that makes sense. So I moved to London, in this place. I had about 50k followers at this point, so moved to London, and started thinking about what kind of content do I want to do on TikTok. So I think the stitch function was like a popular thing on TikTok at the point, so I started stitching videos. And I started networking with loads of the younger generation on TikTok, so like who are great friends of mine at the moment, like your Cameron Dades, you know what I mean, like Will Arthur and stuff like that, Ryan Snellings, like all of those young lads at the time. And one of my stitches went a little bit viral, and I think I gained like 20 or 30k followers from it. So I thought, hey, you know what, let me just start stitching videos. So I was stitching everyone in the UK, starting to get my name out there. Everybody started to know who I was, like, who's this guy, he's so funny, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of my videos were getting taken down. And at this point, I weren't making a stupid amount of money. I think the only income I had was going live at one point from live gifts. And then my movement, which is called the RLS, which stands for Richard's Little Secret, all were just like, look, we want to financially support you. And like, these guys didn't even know me at this point. But I guess that they saw the belief that I did within myself, and they was like, look, we just want to help you. And I was very apprehensive at the beginning. I was like, no, I don't need any help. Like, I was very prideful because I wanted to do everything myself. But sometimes in life, you do need to take some hands that are gifted to you and some hugs that people are offering. So I did like accept some of the support from the guys. And they are still by my side to this day as my moderators, my accountants, my Twitch managers, my Facebook managers. They are involved in absolutely everything I do, and I literally can't wait the day when I get to treat them back and help them in their lives. And so that was a massive, massive thing for me, because I worked it out with Dory that I think I needed to earn £400 to £500 a month just to pay my bills and stay on my feet. I wasn't thinking about food and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't eat very much during this period because I was panicking about money, as anybody quitting their job would. And then I started slowly growing on TikTok, and I got to like 120 and 130k. And my friend turned around to me and she goes, oh, I'm moving to Florida. And I'm like, you're what? She was like, oh, I'm moving to Florida. And I was like, what do you mean you're moving to Florida? So once again, I was homeless, which was scary as hell. Didn't tell my mum and dad because I didn't want to panic them. I think as a 31-year-old man, I was just like, nah, I'm gonna deal with this myself. And then I put a video out on TikTok, obviously, because once you kind of get to the stage of TikTok, you put quite a lot of like your life on it. Like, I know a lot of people say, oh my God, it's so cringy. Like I enjoy letting people into that side of my life, just like I'm doing right now. And an amazing woman called Diane reached out to me and she was like, hey, look, I know you don't know me, etc., but I've got a summer house. It's got all the space that you need. You're away from the house, like you're not gonna have anybody disturb you and stuff. Like, Wi-Fi reaches the garden. It's there if you want it for X amount a month. And I was like, oh my God, like, how could I turn down this opportunity? I felt like going back to my mum and dad's was a step backwards, and I wouldn't have had the space that I needed. So I just took this opportunity. It was all the way out in Basingstoke, so I was panicking in regards to that. But I said to Dory, I was like, look, I don't have a chance. Like, I don't have a choice. We don't have enough money to move out yet, so let's just do it. And for all I knew, Diane could have chopped him up into little pieces and put me in a beef casserole. She could have been a mass murderer. I don't know what was going on at this point, but I just took a risk because I'd already took a risk in quitting my job. What is moving somewhere random what's it gonna change? And it was the best thing that I ever did, because not only is Di one of the most amazing women I've ever met, it gave me the time that my mindset needed. I needed time to sit there and think about what I wanted to do. So I moved to Basingstoke, I think in March, and I was on 200k followers at this point on TikTok, which is a respectable number in my opinion. You're nearly on the way to 250,000, do you know what I mean? And I was grinding. And when I mean grinding, guys, like I think I've been live every single day for 12 months, 3 times a day on just TikTok alone. I used to go live on Instagram every single day till about 2 o'clock in the morning with, you know, your Sophie Aspins, Cameron Dade and Bailey Legg and all those guys. And just to push my account, like I was pushing for 10k on Insta so badly. And then I sat down one day and I was like, I don't want to stitch videos anymore, because they kept getting taken down. And when you get enough community guidelines on your account, eventually TikTok will be like, nah, we're not going to push these videos anymore. Like, it's not safe. Children's app, I get it, cool. So I started watching food videos. And there's a profile called Man in the Woods or something like that. Obviously, they're verified on TikTok. I'll let Lydia sort of kind of show on the screen who they are. And I started looking into their videos, and I was like, I'm going to try a duet. So I started duetting. And I started doing food videos, and they were doing quite well. Like, they were sort of kind of averaging between like your 100k viewed videos, and I was like, 100k viewed video for me back then was huge. Like, I literally used to like be over the moon. And I started duetting them, and they started doing really, really well. And then that's when I ended up coming across the Rap God Official, and I was like, oh my god, this guy puts McDonald's and pot noodles in a rap. I was like, for like anyone that watches his content now, like his videos always just pop when he just puts random stuff like Chinese, your Indian, all these type of takeaways. So I just started duetting them, being really like excited, because I was excited watching them. I was like, why not put that into a video? So I started duetting the Rap God. And that was a great network, because then me and him become friends, which is absolutely great, because I'm then networking with someone who was quite like popular on the app. He had like 500-600k followers, and I was on like 250k at this point. So I started duetting his videos, and then he got signed with Connect Management. And I remember him messaging me saying, oh, I've just been signed with this management team, like, what do you think? And I was like, oh my god, that's such a great opportunity. I was hugely jealous at this point, because I was like, I want to get reached out to. So I had 250,000 followers, and I thought to myself, what can I do that's just going to take me to that next chapter of TikTok? And then I remember sitting in the summer house one night, and I came across this restock video, and it was Kat Benz, and she was like restocking her fridge, and the video had done really well. I think she got like 200k likes, but I found so many things wrong with the video, and I was just like, why is there a gap there? And I was just like, and then all of a sudden I was like, it just snapped in my head. I was just like, why not dramatically use my personality to react to those videos, but be real with it at the same time? So I was like, oh, let me just like react like I normally would, like, because I am quite dramatic. Anybody that knows me, like, I can be very, very dramatic but funny at the same time, and that's why obviously the personality works. So I duetted the video, blind reacted to one of her videos, and I was just finding gaps everywhere. And then all of a sudden, out of anger, I was just like, just the pure rage, and I was just like, oh my god, what human records themselves and leave? And it just, the volume came out in me. Posted the video, I think at like 7 p.m. Woke up the day after to like 30k new followers, and the video had like 2.5 million views, and I was like, what in the name of gaps is going on? And then I think Cam messaged me and a few of my other friends, and they was like, oh my god, what are you doing? Why are you reacting to people cleaning their kitchens? And the minute I noticed that people started noticing it was doing well, I knew I was onto something, and instantly jumped on it and made sure nobody else was going to get involved. So I started reacting 4 times a day to different types of restocking videos, cleaning, like anything to do with like house, like orientated stuff. And the videos just started going crazy, crazy viral. It got to the stage, right guys, where I was growing about 80 or 90k followers a day. So I went from 250,000 to 1 million followers in 4 days. Like, people were so invested in what was going on. Like, so many people were checking my profile daily, because it was just so crazy how quick it was all happening. And then obviously I hit 1 million, but I didn't even have time to appreciate the 1 million, guys, because I went from 1 million followers to 2 million followers in 4 days. So I had no time to breathe. Like, I didn't even know what was going on. I was getting phone calls. I had brands messaging me. Like, it was just nuts. This is when I know that I needed a management team. So I was like, right, I need to contact someone. So obviously I already knew the Rap God was with Connect. And I messaged him and I was like, do you reckon I should just message him? Because I didn't want to seem quite desperate, but at the same time, I did need help. And when you need help, I think the biggest problem with people these days is that they're scared to ask for it. So I just messaged Connect and I was like, look, hey, this is what's happening. I'm getting contacted by loads of brands, etc. Like, can you help me out? And they was just like, we've been watching you. You know, we just wanted to wait to see if you contacted us. I remember the conversation with Benji on the phone. And then that day, he sent me a contract. I signed with Connect and my whole career changed. I got a brand deal within a week with a company called Root Sweetie Sweets, which wanted me to promote their sweet business. I think we made them quite a lot of money in sales from my video, which I'm so grateful for, because I think that's the whole point of what I would love branding to do. Because I feel like when you do big corporate ones, obviously they're not going to see the benefit side of your videos, but smaller businesses will. And this is why I always try and work with small businesses if I can. And then my career just took off, guys. A week after, I think 1 or 2 weeks after I signed with Connect, US Vogue reached out and I got the email. And Josh called me and he was like, oh my God, Vogue have reached out. And I was like, no, they haven't. Like, because you do get fraud emails all the time. We all get it, do you know what I mean? And I was like, why the hell are Vogue going to be interested in someone who bites their fists and wears unicorn slippers? And then when we Googled the person's name and found out that they actually were the writer for the home and living style of US Vogue, my jaw just dropped. Crying on the phone to my mum, crying on the phone, crying in front of Dory, crying to Connect management. Like, I was just like over the moon. So I did the article with US Vogue, which you can go and see for yourself. I think it's on my Instagram. And then a week after, Business Insider contacted me. And they was just like, we want to do an article, but they just wanted to talk about like income. And I didn't really feel comfortable about speaking about like what I'd earned from branding and stuff like that, because it's personal. At the end of the day, like, it's like going and share your pay slip with your mates. Like, you just don't do it. It's just personal, isn't it? So that was it was a good article, because it's a premium article. So actually, to go and read that, you actually have to go pay money to read that article at Business Insider. And then, because I had 2 articles, straight away in the back of my mind, I was like, I should get verified. Should I not get verified? Like, look how viral I'm going. Like, why not? So we then applied for verification, and it got rejected because I didn't have enough individual press and I didn't have enough articles about me. Which I was like, okay, do you know, I took it on the chin. Like, I didn't want to cry about it. But in the back of my mind, I was really bothered, because I thought, for me, being verified on any app, especially TikTok, as TikTok's the biggest app in the world right now, it's just a badge of improvement, and it's just a badge of achievement as well. Not improvement, sorry, that's the wrong word. It was a badge of achievement for how hard that I'd worked, because so many people doubted me, guys. My old job was just like, you're never going to make it on social media, and I feel like I just wanted to prove everybody wrong. Having millions of followers just wasn't doing it for me. I don't know why. I guess you just always get really hungry for more. So I carried on, you know, doing my my videos, and then I started watching like people fill up like liquids, like your orange juices, your milks, detergent, like with Lenore and stuff like that. And I felt like people were like filling stuff up, but they weren't filling it like to the top. And then one day the word brim came out of my mouth in one of the videos. And then everybody started saying brim, like to the brim, like in my comments. And I was like, oh my God, I'm jumping on this. And then I remember I duetted some girl called Chloe, who used to fill up like containers and stuff like that. And I was just like, why are you not filling it to the what? And I just started getting really angry, but I could feel myself in my head thinking, this is so funny. And then I watched it back and I was like pissing myself, laughing at myself. And I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. And then the brim thing started, and I feel like that's now become my niche, my quotes. So when I see people and I get stopped in the street now, like the thing that they notice me for, oh my God, it's the brim guy. Like, it's not even like, people don't even know my name. It's just the word brim is just affiliated with me. And then I thought, I went to go watch England play. I remember this in the semi-finals, and I was in Reading, and I posted a video. I hadn't gone live this day. I posted a video of me reacting to things like perfectly fitting into perfect places. And I was like, I've never done this before. How about like I do that? And that to this day is my most viral video on TikTok. That's pinned on my account right now. Nearly 50 million views with 9 million likes. It's just like, what in the name of Brim? And that took me from 2.7 million to like 3.3 in like the space of 3-4 days. And it's like, I weren't even being able to appreciate all these followers and these milestones that I was hitting, like because I was still so humble with it, like I didn't really know what to do. And I remember sort of kind of like sitting there with Dory, and I was just like, I'm gonna relax at 4 million, like I promise. And between 3.3 and 4 was the longest period that I had, because it just all slowed down. The hype had kind of gone. I was still getting amazing views, and still to this day, thank the TikTok gods, that I still get absolutely like amazing views on my profile. There was just still like a really urge of hunger, and I was just like, I really want 4 million followers. So was pushing really hard, pushing my backup, like my backup was going viral as well. I think my backup's on the road to 1 million as well, which is unbelievable. All down to you, of course. And I got to 4 million, and I said to Dory, right, I'm gonna relax now. And then Dory made a comment. She was like, oh, you're just gonna want 5 million. And then the boys at Connect was like, oh, 5 million, here we come. So instantly in my head, I was like, right now, I want 5 million. And I guess the hunger's just never going to stop. I'm never going to be satisfied. But from the bottom of my heart, oh my God, I can't believe that I am where I am. So, continuing the story, actually, do you know what? Let me quickly go back, because I feel like I got sidetracked. So obviously, the Brim and the No Gap thing, the reason why I think I came up with that idea is because I had the summer house to myself. I had the space by myself. And because of Diane and her support, I had enough money to save to move out and get my own place, which I'm currently sitting in right now. And that was a big thing for me. Like, I think moving in here with Dory was always something I wanted to do, because we had like a long distance and it weren't easy. Our relationship was very up and down. Like, we had a few times that we'd broken up just due to the stress of how things were going on. And we really stuck by each other as much as we possibly could, because we knew that there's going to be a happy ending. And then obviously we moved out and we came here, and it was just like, now I've got even more freedom to do what I want, because obviously being at Dyes, as much as I had my own space, it was like, I never felt like it was my house. So I felt like I weren't as comfortable as probably what I wanted to be. It felt like home at Dyes, but it wasn't mine. So I felt like there was always something missing. And I feel like that really took my content to the next level when I moved here. And I started Twitch, YouTube, and started taking things more seriously. That's when I knew the verification was going to come. So got to 4 million followers now, and obviously I then signed a contract with TikTok Shop, which you guys have seen, which is quite new to the UK. Just to reassure quite a lot of guys, TikTok Shop is one of the biggest things in TikTok in China. Like, you can buy houses and stuff on China on TikTok Shop. Like, it's so ahead. And I feel like that's what TikTok UK want to do. So obviously now being involved and working for and directly for TikTok, there's a few people where I was like, is there any chance that you lot could maybe nudge the verification, you know? So they sent an application for me, obviously, like through TikTok and stuff. Obviously I just sent it again. You can send as many as you want once you've got the right management team, every 30 days, just like you can do with Instagram. And I remember sitting downstairs, and me and Dory were recording the pen trend, where you throw the pens into the cup with your partner and stuff. So I was sitting downstairs, and Dory had come up, and she'd seen that I'd been verified before that I saw it, because they just verify you. They just send you like an account message saying, hey, congratulations, you're now verified. So she's popped downstairs and she was like, have you checked your profile? So I instantly thought like one of my videos had been taken down and stuff like that. So obviously anxiety of it, like panicking, like obviously my profile means the world to me. And I remember like grabbing my phone and just looking, and I was just like, and if you watched a video that obviously Dory and I posted in my video, instant tears. I couldn't hold back, because I felt like I went back in time in my mind to when I was really worried about taking the risk of leaving my job and starting social media. Like, is it going to be worth it? And oh my God, it was the best thing that I ever did, because now I am a verified creator on one of the biggest apps in the whole wide world. And I just did it all by being myself and being my dramatic little crazy person who wears unicorn slippers, who's not afraid to be who he is, and is surrounded by some of the most amazing people to ever step foot in my life. So Then I got verified, which was only 2 weeks ago. And then I remember Dory actually said to me the other day, so she's like, so what's next? So this is why I sort of kind of want to do a little bit more YouTube, why I want to do Instagram. But a lot of people like always ask me like, what's the end goal? And I'm going to be really honest with you, the end goal for me is TV. Like I would love to just turn on Netflix one day and see my face on there, or present a show, or just to even be on an advert. Just to have any telly appearance is what I'm not desperate for, but I think the reason why, I can't really explain it. The reason why I think I want to do it is because I feel like all the people that I used to work for and all the people that used to doubt me, and I just pop up on their television screens. Like TikTok, obviously I don't know everybody that has TikTok, but I feel like a lot of people watch TV. And can you imagine, like, after all those people doubted me and then all of a sudden I just pop up on an advert on one of the biggest brands in the world. And I don't want to be smug and horrible and be like, haha, I told you so, but I just want to remind people that maybe you should treat people a little bit better. And that's the end goal for me. The end goal is to be able to buy a house next year, hopefully with me and Dory. So, because a lot of people know financially, once you buy a house, you don't have to panic as much about like buying. And I don't want to buy a house where I'm going to have to pay a mortgage. I want to buy a house outright. So I obviously know I need to work a lot hard. So if there's any massive brands out there, you know, that just want to pay or buy me a house just for a couple of videos, then yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the story so far. Hopefully, like, it's a to be continued situation. Hopefully in a couple of months I can do another YouTube video saying, hey guys, I made it on TV. Actually, Joe, I have been on TV. I was in 24 Hours in A&E once, but we won't talk about that because the video is just a little bit embarrassing. And I just obviously want to say like a huge thank you to all of you that have sat there, shared my videos, said some of the nice comments that you have. Like, I've had so much support over the last couple of months, and if it wasn't for the RLS and Dory and some of you guys as well, like, I wouldn't be able to do social media as a job, because that's exactly what it is for me now. It's a job, it's a career, and it's something that I need to push hopefully for the rest of my life. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, you guys are the reason why I have stability in my life. And yeah, that's my TikTok story, guys. I probably missed a couple of bits out just through panicking. I have recorded this video 3 times. First time, it didn't record. It's fine. It's 40 minutes out of my day. Second time, you literally could just see my mouth moving. And the third time, I don't actually know if this is recorded or not. So this could be the 5th time that I've tried to record. But I just want to say a huge thank you. Please, please show the YouTube as much support as you have done on the TikTok. And obviously, if you want to follow my Instagram or my Twitch, it is exactly the same name as my YouTube name, which is Richard Sales Official. And yeah, I just wanted to have like a little bit more of a downtime, a little bit more of a chat with you guys about my life and what's happened and how normal I was. And just in case you didn't know the story. So it's been your boy Richard Sales Official. We do everything but nothing to the goddamn brim. We fill everything to the brim in this house. No, we actually don't. Dory doesn't. But yeah, it's been your boy. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. And if you want to see any other stuff on YouTube, please comment down below what you guys want to see, so I can actually provide some of the best content for you beautiful people. Take care, guys. Peace and love. Your boy!